Hello, welcome back. My name is Mina, and today I'm going to be doing some different lighting ideas, or maybe all of them. Well, not all of them, but a good amount of different lighting ideas that you can use. This might take a while, so I'm going to go straight into it. So the first one I made was the basic. Not the most basic, but it's basically just a fence with a glowstone block of glowstone on it, and then we have this but with trapdoors around it. And then we go on to more street ones, which you would have in the street of your world. You might see this around my world, where I add this, but I do it with the trap doors. And then we go on to the simple one, which is basically just it's just a torch. And now this isn't very flattering, but it is just a torch. And a different way you can make this look maybe a little bit better is if you were to sink it in a little bit. So if I was to do this, you say it's a bit of a deeper wall, I could place a torch back here, and then it could maybe give a different effect. Because personally, I don't know which one looks better at all. The next one, I wish it was kind of nighttime right now so you could see, but it probably will get tonight. This is basically just a red carpet, so you would think. This has actually got glowstone, but it still shines through the carpet, so if you're about hiding it, then this would be perfect. There is also a trick that you can use. It's basically just pretending like you have a fire. So by creating a fireplace, I know this one's a bit bulky, but I did it really fast, so I didn't think about how it would look. And that's just basically a way to act like you're trying to put a lot of effort in, but really it's just your way of lighting the entire room. And then there's the way of having a redstone lamp with a lever on the other side, and it basically does that. The one thing I do not like about this is I prefer it without, because, you know, it opens and closes these, and that's just a bit weird for me. So it's getting dark right now, so you can start to see that everything is giving off light, as you can see, some more than others. And then you have a beacon. Now there are other ways you can do it with a beacon, but if you are rich enough and you can have one of these going all the way through your house, this is a great way to emit light if you are rich. Another way is basically just putting a cage of glass with lava in it, which looks kind of cool. So if you're going for that look, this is perfect. It would also look good on the floor, so you kind of have that shining through. Another cool way with torches to make them look a bit better is you can either put an item frame with it and a pressure plate. This also works with carpets, which you'll see when I do a different one. And it also works with paintings, so that's really cool. Another cool thing I found was everyone was using glowstone behind these blocks, and you can use glowstone, but I have decided I wanted to use pumpkins. Get out of my way. I decided to use pumpkins because to add a different look. I think it looks pretty cool. Obviously you'd need thick walls so this didn't show from the other side. Another way to do it is to use leaves, as it still lets the light come through the leaves. So you've got a pumpkin in there and you've got glowstone. I think glowstone looks personally better in this one, but you know. Another way is to use torches. So these are just loads of torches under here. If you're not as rich enough to have any glowstone yet, you can literally just use some torches. So you can see that all of these are letting off light so far. And then another one which is quite unusual, and these are the two redstone ones that I thought, you know, when I was thinking when you step on a redstone block it lights up for a short amount of time, so that might look cool if you were doing a certain type of building, because I know when I find redstone and I'm mining and I'm about to put a torch down, I just like hit the block with my pick so that that emits enough light. But yeah, it is temporary and it does go off, but it is a weird way to get some light, and I thought I wouldn't leave that out, and I haven't seen that from many people before, so I decided to add it. Another way with the redstone torches, if you're going for a slightly duller look, this one is used with a pressure plate, a heavy pressure plate, and this one is created using a carpet. This also works with an anvil if you want a different look. And then I've seen this one around. It's not particularly hidden, but it's just in the floor and it looks pretty cool. That one's not much to explain, just put the glowstone in and then place glass over the top. Another cool way is to emit light this way. As you can see, there is light coming from it and not just over there. But if I show you how to do this, you basically need glowstone here, and then you place a sign on it, and if you place a painting on it, I was trying to get a normal one, then it obviously shows through. Obviously you can definitely see a little bit through it, but it's a good way if you want to disguise the lighting. Another way is beacons. Again, the stair effect with the beacons and what I did with the pumpkins. And also you can put them on the floor if you're rich, as I said before. Another way to emit some light is to use a nether portal, because they do emit a little bit of light, although they are quite bulky, and honestly they do look pretty cool, but it's not going to look great if you've got an old wooden house, and obsidian does take a bit to mine if you are in survival. This is basically how to hide some lighting that you've got. The first one is basically cake. You can hide the lighting with a piece of cake. Obviously you can still see it a little bit, but it is a way to hide it. Your bed is also another way to hide the lighting, although you can still see it. And if you want to have some lighting in your brewing place where you make all your potions, you can put it underneath a block and add a bit of water on it, and then put another block here, and you can basically place a brewing stand on the top, which, if you're into that, it's cool. Another thing I read, but I'm not sure if it works, by the looks of things it does, is that if you place pistons or sticky pistons on top of a light source, then it emits the light, which I thought was pretty cool, so I've added that in there. Another thing that emits light if you place it on top is the enchantment table. So if you have an enchantment table and you need to light up the room, but you don't want to place torches everywhere, you can place it underneath your enchanting table and it should emit some light. Another thing is a daylight sensor. I'm not sure if this one works either, but by the looks of things it is working. Some ways that don't completely cover it is the cauldron. That completely leaves a little gap, but it looks still pretty hidden, if you ask me. And then one that I was really confused about. Oh, the reason I was confused is because I didn't realise I hadn't put any underneath, and I was like, they're the same block. But these two both emit light because obviously they've been made smaller and don't cover up the entire block anymore, although it's not 100% hidden. So that is a way of doing it. Or if you have it under the floor, so you place the glowstone there. 1 second. If you place the glowstone under here and you place that there, that is also a good way if you have a chest room with your chest on the floor, as it's harder to see. Another fun way, which is the last way I found, is to hide it behind some ice, although it's not very good as you have to have them 5 blocks apart. But it does emit a little bit of light, although it's not the best. As you can see, it's not emitting that much light. It's only emitting around 5 or 4 blocks. So they are all of my different lighting ideas, and you can now see everything in the dark. So let's just go through that, and if you see, this gives off a little bit of light, although not much. The torches are giving off light, and if I show you that one over here, as you can see, the glowstone is still giving off light, which might confuse a few people as it's not noticeable. Okay, so they are all of my different lighting ideas. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.